New sprite powers, activate! How do you like me now? Anyway, hey everyone, PJ here, and today's video is going to be about the zombie apocalypse. Now, I already made a guide back in the day, but it was ass. I already made a video dunking on it, but long story short, it contained misinformation, as well as advice that could get you killed. So to make up for that, I decided to make a revamped version. Also, I'm only going to be covering survival tips. How a zombie apocalypse could happen is a topic for another video. Also, I'm not a survival expert, so take this video with a grain of salt. But anyway, now that we got all that out of the way, let's begin! Personally, I'd recommend somewhere out in the countryside, somewhere far from civilization. Densely populated cities are a big no-no since they're going to be overrun with zombies. I was originally going to go with an abandoned farmhouse, but then I discovered a better solution. A bunker. Bunkers aren't as out in the open as farmhouses, so you'll be less likely to be spotted. So if you want to set up a base, I'd say your best bet would be to find a bunker. You won't be able to survive on your own, so you'll need to recruit a team. However, there are a few things to consider when recruiting survivors. 1. Every survivor you recruit is another mouth to feed, and food is going to be scarce, so make sure you limit the amount of people you recruit. 2. Different people have different skills, and some people are more skilled than others. Give survivors different jobs depending on what they're good at, such as ranged combat, melee combat, scouts, doctors, gardeners, etc. And 3. Be careful of who you trust. You're going to encounter a lot of dangerous people who will try to kill you for your supplies. They will either attack you on sight, or try to gain your trust only to stab you in the back later. Literally. So, be smart when recruiting. Personally, I'd mostly stick with melee combat. I'd imagine knocking the heads off zombies would not only be satisfying as hell, but it would get pretty fun after a while. You picked the wrong house, fool! As for weapons, I just stick with the good old-fashioned baseball bat. I also have a kunai that I can use for close encounters. As for raiders, I'd use a bow for them. I'm going to try to use guns as little as possible since they're noisy as hell, which is going to attract more zombies. Plus, unlike bullets, bolts and arrows can be reused. You know, unless they break, of course. I suppose it also wouldn't hurt to get some lawn darts. Not the baby-proof lawn darts you can find in stores nowadays. I'm talking about the original design lawn darts. You know, the ones that got recalled because they were too dangerous. I think it would be funny to stand on top of a watchtower and throw lawn darts at zombies below. You can even make a game out of it. So, since weapons are already off the table, let's think of some other supplies. Firstly, food. Since food is going to be a precious resource, you're going to want to gather as much as possible. Something I'd also want to stock up on is water jugs. And I'm talking 5-gallon water jugs too. I'm also going to hope that either the pipes still work or that there's a spring nearby. If neither of those are the case, I'll think of something. Someone on Reddit suggested building a rain catching system. I also read online there's another good source of clean water. Believe it or not, it's located in your toilet tank. Yeah, I don't care how dire the situation is, I'm not drinking what is essentially toilet water. I'm not Oliver. Anyhow, I should probably also stock up on some medical supplies as well. Sterile water, gauze pads, Coban, Tylenol, rubbing alcohol, that sort of thing. Plus a few boxes of
adhesive medical strips.
Oh, and medicine, obviously. I think it's also a good idea to grab some disinfectant. Another thing I will grab is mosquito repellent, because what if you get bit by a mosquito carrying the zombie virus? Now you're infected, and it's only a matter of time before you turn to one of them. Mosquitoes are already known to carry viruses such as Zika and malaria, so it's best not to take any chances. It's also a good idea to grab some magazines and duct tape to give yourself some body armor. The thicker the magazine, the better. A bulletproof vest would also be a good idea against raiders. Or if you can find some, you could go in full-on tactical gear. And after a while, nuclear power plants will begin to melt down due to no one managing them. So it's important to get your hands on a radiation detector and some gas masks. Radiation is bad for you kids. It won't give you superpowers like it does in movies and comics, but it will, however, give you radiation poisoning as well as cancer. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather not take my chances with that. It's also a good idea to maintain hygiene, so I'd also grab some soap. Specifically the rinse-free kind, since water is also going to be a precious resource. By the way, One thing I want to mention is that eventually you're going to end up running out of food, as well as places to raid, and once that happens, well, I hope you like potatoes, because you're going to be eating a lot of them. What I'm saying is you're going to want to set up a vegetable garden to grow stuff like potatoes, carrots, corn, etc. One thing I do is I go the don't escape route and dig a really deep hole around the entrance and align the bottom with spikes, then cover it over with leaves and sticks. I might even place a few spike traps here and there, so I'm gonna need a fuckload of metal stakes. Someone on Reddit recommended setting up landmines, however landmines are a bad idea. First off, they're going to trigger a loud explosion which is going to attract more zombies to your location. Second, those explosions are going to send shrapnel flying, which can either severely injure or even kill you or a member of your group. Plus, I don't want to risk accidentally detonating one of them. And that's really about it. I want to keep my base as hidden as possible, and if I have a bunch of defenses surrounding it, then it's not exactly hidden, is it? Here are places I'd raid. I go for gas stations, grocery stores, convenience stores, pawn shops, and Little Caesars to get food. I'd also raid any local mattress store in order to get proper bedding. I'd also raid Walmart, Target, and Home Depot to see what they've got. Chances are it's something good. If you manage to get into a warehouse, go ahead and see what they got as well. Man, this entry is short. Okay, so one major problem you'll be facing is that you'll have no electricity. What I would do for that is I would hook up a standby power generator. I know I've already said this in another video, but standby power generators are designed to last for up to 50 years before going dark. So you won't have to worry about losing power anytime soon. Plus, if you're really paranoid, you can hook up a solar panel for everlasting power. So now that you have electricity, you also have a working fridge, meaning you now have a way to preserve food. But wait, aren't power generators noisy as hell? Won't all that humming attract zombies? Well, Duck Bear, that is correct. But I thought of a plan around this. All you gotta do is make a wooden box and align the inside with soundproofing foam and place it over the power generator to muffle the humming. Maybe even put a humidifier in there so it doesn't overheat. I would also set up a radio tower and disguise it as a tree, because I'm trying to keep my base hidden. And sooner or later, the ground is going to get littered with corpses, and the smell is going to attract, you guessed it, more zombies. So it's important to have a designated spot for corpse disposal, preferably far away from the base. Anyway, that's what I do during the zombie apocalypse. Let me know what you think. Again, I'm not a survival expert, so take this video with a grain of salt. But I am curious to know what you do during the zombie apocalypse, or if there's anything I missed. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. But for now, my name is PJ, and I'm gonna go Galaxy.